Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Zombies Love Bacon podcast, episode 31. Still not cancelled, but still in New World. In New World where COVID doesn't exist, but somehow we're kind of in lockdown, you know, because no one's really done much else. But joining me today is Shelby.
Hi, welcome to my birthday weekend podcast. It's all about me.
That's not that. This is news to me.
My
I didn't get the memo.
My birthday.
Also joining us is Jess. Hello, Jess.
Yes.
Hi. And wait, are we calling you Boydo or Dobby now?
Either doesn't matter.
Either.
Yeah.
So you pick.
We'll still do Boydo.
And did Norstar just join? What the fuck? Well, that's
He
awkward.
smelt the podcast happening and he just gravitated here.
Just tried to sneak in.
Yeah, he did. He was just like, hello. Oh, wait, I better go.
Anyway,
Surprise 1.25 second appearance from Northstar. Clap him out. Thanks, Northstar.
he just
Thank
came
you,
in
Norstar.
to wish you a happy birthday, Shelby. As much as we're I think everyone's in pretty higher sort of mood at the moment because we've got New World. It's a great distraction on real life. Let's be honest. It is a sad time for us as well because we were meant to be at PAX like now,
Yeah.
like right now, like legitimately
As in, like, we would be, like, at the place right now.
seeing each other in person.
Yeah.
It'd be
Drinking,
probably
having
kind
fun.
of like really awkward timing anyway, for PAX because the big Twitch hack just happened.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
but
yeah.
Imagine if we were going to PAX like after that.
there's a parallel universe where COVID doesn't exist, and we just continued on that trajectory we were on 2 years ago. And I don't know if like all the hacking and data breaching and all that sort of stuff would have been happening so much if, you know, people were outside and happier. Like I feel like it's a symptom of disgruntled internet users.
This is true.
It's
Mhm.
it's been wild. It's basically.
Yeah. I think my favorite part of the whole Twitch hack thing is the people who are complaining that their
Before you go
favorite
further,
YouTube.
explain what the Twitch hack is.
Okay, there was I think it's 125 gigabytes of data leaked from Twitch. Basically, it's everything. So it includes Twitch's rip-off of Steam, so their own game platform, a game that they were creating with assets from it called V World, which was going to be something like VR chat, is what they were thinking.
Yeah, it's
It's
actually
like a social hub.
more than Twitch. It's more of Amazon than
Yeah.
It's bigger than Twitch.
Basically anything that was it had integrations with Twitch.
Yep.
And is from Amazon itself is involved in this. So also, you know, the one that's everyone is talking about is all of the payout information for every streamer, basically, who's like a top streamer.
Yep.
So people are shocked to earn that the streamers that they sub to make money off of their subs.
Newsflash, yeah. Some do.
You
Not
smack.
many.
Why?
Not a lot.
And of course, the numbers are exclusive of donations and stuff, so the real number is quite a bit higher than that. There were some things that surprised me, is like some streamers I think should be earning more money compared to other people in the list. Like, let's just mention briefly how most.
Go
of the
on,
top
call someone
paid-
out. Call someone out.
I'm gonna call out men.
Who?
Men. Because
Oh.
most of the top people in the list are men until you get to
Shit.
Pokimane, who
I'm
is
a
very
man.
low. Yeah, where's your money, huh? She's very low
Really?
in the list, and I think this is, and I just kind of want to mention we should be uplifting creators more who, you know, to maybe the same level.
How about before you start the men versus women debate?
No, I'm not starting a debate. I'm just saying.
saying before we do, how about the people who make good content get recognized more than being, you know, because it's and I say that because I look at the top whatever, and honestly, I don't consider much of their stuff great content. And I'm not saying that I'm better than them. I'm just saying that I recognize better stuff that is much lower in the list and that gets a lot less.
No, I know, and like I think XQC is a dickhead.
Yeah,
So
but I think that's his.
come at me, XQC stands. Let's go.
I'm pretty sure people pay him to be a dickhead, though.
This is true, as evidenced by I think he's like number 2 on the list or something.
So, I mean, there's actually a fair bit to unpack from this whole thing, particularly for the content creators and whatever. But my favorite thing, and the Australian streamer, formerly known for his World of Warcraft stuff, and now New World, and he's on our server, so we've sort of been getting closer to him, is Panda, and Panda had a say on it. He's been on Twitch, I think 8 years now, as partnered. So it's big for Australia, because Australia didn't have a lot of partnered streamers for a long time. And he came out and said a thing about it, and he basically said, I don't give a shit. People can see what I earn now, and for the amount of work and effort and hours that I put into my streams and stuff, people are now calling out how he doesn't make much money, really, in the grand scheme of things. And he's just like, yeah, so now people know that I don't actually make that much money, and I do it because I love it and not for the money. So shut up, dickheads, is basically what he said. And I absolutely, yeah, I agree. It highlights that the top, I don't want to put a percentage on it, but the top amount of money that goes onto Twitch as revenue goes into that top 20% of streamers. They make all the money, and then the rest of the money sort of is divvied up amongst the smaller people, and that's it. Because there's a bit of a cliff when you look at those numbers. There's people making millions, and then there's people making 100K, and then there's people making K. I don't know. I had a look at the data. I couldn't find my name anywhere near it in any of it, so I'm a nobody. So.
I think your data would be further in there, but the websites people have put up to host the data only is like the first 1,000 or so.
I found a very, very, very long list sheet that was apparently one of the original 4chan links. Anyway, point is, Twitch not very good at anything, and have proven that they're particularly bad at security. So,
well, I heard this, that people who have worked with Twitch are really surprised at the company, being that when they show up to the office and things like that, it's like a company of people my age who don't really know what they're doing, who are just like, yeah, we're gamers, we know, we know how to code, we know X, Y, and Z, but they are actually really not put together very well. And I think that's really evidenced by a lot of their responses to any controversy that comes up and things like that. So I'm actually really not surprised that their security was this shit.
Yeah, no, I think definitely the focus on their manpower has always been around the technology and the coding and all that sort of stuff. And the actual forward-facing, the user interfacing and the community stuff has always been kind of whatever. And that's where the scary part of the whole hack comes from, because the incomplete source code for all their coding stuff is all now public knowledge. And I saw, apparently this happened on Monday. Twitch dropped a tweet about it on a Wednesday, but there really hasn't been anything, no direct communication to anyone to say that something this big and bad has happened. But their tweet, and one of their probably the best tweets replied to that was, congratulations Twitch on going open source. So
oh my god.
it's going to be interesting to see what comes out of it, to be honest. But it definitely, and we were talking about this earlier, but it's a conversation that's come up a lot around the community, is now Twitch have proven that they're incompetent in a lot of ways, and it's time to maybe look at a competitor. I don't know.
What's that other competitor that people have been talking about?
So they all come in different shapes and sizes, like most things. But definitely, most people are trying to go to YouTube. YouTube is a tricky place. It's a very oversaturated place. I mean, yeah, it's just everyone's making the same videos over and over again, basically. It's very populated, and it's very hard to get any sort of notice without getting a viral video that gets you a lot of subscribers, or what they say, what a lot of people refer to as buying subscribers. Like, I'm going to give away a Jeep if you subscribe and like this and tag 10 of your mates. It's stuff like that. And then there's Facebook, where they're just throwing money at Facebook gaming in every possible way to try and
hoping it sticks.
But you go to the back end of that, as a content creator, it's a nightmare to navigate. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I really don't want to ever stream on Facebook. I don't want people to...
The only thing I like about Facebook is that the discoverability, in the sense that they will prop you up and just tuck you in people's feeds that they think they'll like it, and they'll stay on Facebook to watch you. And you also get a very short web address. It's fb.gg/whatever you are. So it's good for pushing that to them.
It is.
So that's all good. But they also recognize that Facebook doesn't have a huge base here in Australia, so they've hired an Australian company to run their Facebook campaign as their marketing management here. So they've done a lot of things, put a lot of money into it, and then there's the underdog, if you like, which is Trovo, which I would consider it to be like Beam was before Microsoft brought it and turned it into Mixer.
I can't even remember what Beam was. That
Mixer.
was pre-Mixer.
Yeah.
Oh
Yep.
my god.
So Trash Panda started, moved to Beam, and got some traction there. And then when it turned to Mixer, became a partnered Mixer streamer. But the problem that they had was that they aren't big in Australia. So like she had no Australian rep that could help her. And like when Mixer went to things like PAX, going back to
There was
PAX,
nothing. It was all Twitch.
there was Twitch had a big booth and like MCs and all that sort of stuff. And then we go around the corner and there was a Mixer area with like 6 beanbags on the ground. That was it. No one there.
It just reminds me of that failed Tumblr convention where there's just a ball pit.
Yeah, it's literally the ball pit. Yeah.
Beanbags.
So it's kind of wild. So we've gone through, particularly for the last week, it's been a matter of people going, "Oh, Twitch, you're annoying," and then they're like, "Oh, you've been hacked in my passwords and earning, and everything's gone on the internet. God, I hate you, Twitch." And then you go at the same time, you're going, "Can't stop playing this Amazon game."
Yeah, I like how I
love that
basically.
Amazon game.
I don't know how anyone else went with this, but I basically emerged from like New World tired and like after playing for 12 hours or more after we were forced out because of a maintenance, and then I found out about the Twitch hack and I was like, oh,
So
all right.
Literally our entire life has been Amazon related for the last week. I'm sure there's stuff happening on the outside, but
I haven't been even checking the COVID case numbers. It's actually been really nice.
it was weird when they said,
You check it.
"Yeah, don't look." That's
Don't
don't look.
Look,
We just like we're on New World time now because we had daylight savings and everything got confusing, so we just go by whatever the time is in the game. We go by the COVID cases in the game too. So
well,
0.
I mean, there is like let's just mention real quick. There is like technically like a virus in the game that's infecting the ground.
All right,
ground. And
don't make
everything.
it too real. I
The
want to separate the two.
corruption in the game is like New World's COVID.
All right, I have a question for the room. Is anyone reading the lore? Like
Me, a little bit.
do you understand if someone goes, "Hey, what's this game about? What's the story?"
So New World is basically a realm in which people are who cannot die. So they come back to life. That's why all the animals and trees and everything like that just respawn, because it's basically a purgatory. Not only that, there is this corruption that's coming in, which is basically demons from hell trying to take over the land. And it's like a disease. And it's affecting all those villages and stuff that you see.
I've been playing this game for like 150 hours this week, and that's the first time I've heard the story.
I thought this virus has always been here, though. They're trying to like separate. It's like an Attack of Titans kind of thing. They're trying to contain whoever is free from virus into these walls, and whoever adventures out there may contract the virus.
I mean, you might be right. I think I was pretty close though.
Like I said, I don't know.
I was reading a little bit on it when I reached like to mid-tier game. Is like, oh, this is actually getting really interesting of how it actually outbroke.
Yeah.
The main story is broken up so much, it's sort of hard to tell what's the main story and what's this guy wants to paint a waterfall. Make sure you put down this painting he saw for him. Okay. XP.
Oh yeah, that guy. I was putting down all these paint easels. Then I had to fight a big bear and it almost killed me. So that was only yesterday and I'm a level 43.
That bear looks scary. I don't want to fight him, but I have to.
That was bad. I just had to group up.
I know exactly what bear you're talking about, because when you're walking in the area, you usually see it running after some guys screaming, and then like 4 guys running after them trying to kill the bear.
That's exactly what I saw. That's all of it. Yeah, definitely. Everyone's playing the same game. You know when we say sometimes they're playing a different game, everyone's having the same terrifying experience.
Well, I wanted to mention this, and like I know we're fairly new to these sort of MMO sort of style thing, but it's a lot of people are playing a different game because you forget that we're on one server with this one pool of people. That
their economies are completely different and everything.
Yeah. And their player base is different. Like I was talking to a friend and he's like, yeah, there's like 30 yellow people on our server. That's it. And everyone else is green or purple.
So through the Steam achievements, you can see who's picked what factions. And it's like 75% purple. I don't know why, but purple is apparently the cool faction and we're in purple. So
yeah, I don't know why. Honestly, people ask me what the difference is, and I'm just like, I don't know.
Purple has the best lore, in my opinion.
So you are reading the lore.
Purple
I am reading certain lore.
Purple is the emo scientists, and yellow is the religious people. They have the churches, and then green is literally just like marauders and pirates. That's it. So I think we do have like the best concept. I like all of our like store items as well. We got like fancy outfits.
So that make us like wizardry and alchemy? Is that more what we're doing?
Yeah.
Or? Okay.
Yeah.
And assassins and all that.
Assassins.
It's it's kind of, when you start to think about it, this is a completely new IP that they've created. So it's done a pretty decent job.
I'm not gonna lie, it give me major Skyrim vibes all the time.
But like even Skyrim's not an original IP. It's Elder Scrolls 5 or 4?
It's Elder Scrolls 3. Wait,
no,
Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. It's 5. Yeah.
I think it's 5. I think the new one's 6 that they're working on.
Yes.
There's no new one yet.
So
but really, nobody cares about anything beyond Morrowind.
At this point, they're like 20 years ago that someone established the lore, and then they're just building into that world. So they've got it pretty easy. Where these guys are starting from nothing.
Yeah. So the lore will come with updates, and obviously they'll push the level cap so we come back and train more as well.
Yeah, and I know I've told this story many times, probably even on the podcast, but I just want to bring up again that this is Amazon Games. All right, this is a company that published a game last year and then unpublished a game because it was too bad. And people forget about it because they just managed to sweep it under a rug so cleanly. It's kind of wild.
What game was it? I forget.
It was called Crucible.
Oh, that's right.
And it was a third person, like a Smite kind of game. So it was a third person MOBA kind of game, right? And it came. They did a beta, and the beta was kind of garbage. And then they did another beta, and it was kind of garbage. Then they released it. And they're like, "This is worse than the beta." And they're like, "Well, don't worry about it then." And they just took the game off the market.
I thought Amazon partnered up with someone for that game, and it was just I think
trash. I don't know who made the game, but it was published and done by Amazon Games under the thing. But yeah, it's just I just find it so crazy that they would spend all this time and energy and money on a game and then literally be like, nah, don't worry about it, and just get rid of it, just cancel the game. Go on.
I mean, have you ever spent time creating something then just been embarrassed and just like deleted it? Because like me with every single YouTube video I made.
Okay, so. And I grew up studying film and television and stuff like that. That was kind of my jam. And there's always this guy that taught me, who was kind of a mentor at the time. We ended up not being friends. But he always told me that if you ever get a movie that is like hyped, like you can't leave the house without seeing a poster, or seeing a trailer, or anything like that, then it's going to be a bad movie. And the theory was that if they've got a bad movie, like they tested with audiences, and audiences are like, this isn't that good. So let's say let's use the original Suicide Squad movie as an example, right? Trailers like crazy were coming out. They used 2 different trailer houses to cut 2 different trailers because the first one wasn't as well received as the second one, and they just hyped it all up. And the aim of the game is to get bums in seat day one so that they can make as much money as possible before word of mouth spreads. They want people to be there day one. They want to hype it up. Get in there, see the movie, make their money back, and then just so when you see a hyped movie, just be cautious because and it's true. Every bad movie I've seen has been super hyped up.
That's true. Yeah.
So you get a little bit concerned when games like this. This wasn't super hyped up though. It got hyped up very close to when it actually released. It did get.
I only found out about it when you guys mentioned the beta, which was the second last beta that they had.
First time I heard about it was, I think Jelly was streaming it one of the betas like last year.
I'm pretty sure it was the alpha.
Might have been the alpha. It was last year anyway.
Very early.
Yeah, because myself and Jelly got keys, like free keys for it, and we played it together and started streaming it. So yeah.
Yeah, and I was just like, New World. I'm like, I've never heard of it. They're like, yeah, it's gonna be great. Can't wait. Blah blah blah. I'm like, all right, cool. And then I thought nothing more of it, and then everyone was sort of getting a bit hyped up about it when the beta was dropping. I'm like, yeah. And then a friend of mine literally just messaged me and they're like, check this game out, it's sick. Here's a key. I'm like, all right, I'll play it, but no guarantees, mate. No guarantees I'm going to play it a lot, So 150 hours later, yeah.
Yeah. I have to say, I had like this conversation with somebody yesterday because everyone was like ripping into each other in global chat, as they do. But I find like it's extra toxic because, well, I said to him, man, they split us into 3 factions and all of a sudden everyone is inventing racism because that's basically what it is.
Nice.
Everyone just like bullies each other for the faction that they're in. And that's what I said that they've done. And
but some servers it's nicer than others.
I think our server might just be particularly toxic.
I don't know, but I know that like a friend of mine, Macy, who's part of TeamOCE, was streaming it. He's been streaming it like 18 hours a day since it came out. And on his server, there's the Shreks, the grapes, and the lemons. That's it. And they call each other that. That's like the most toxic thing they do is calling each other a grape or a lemon.
Oh my god!
I'm like,
Here, everyone
oh,
like
no.
calls each other like pee and vomit and stuff. And
Over here, I see asterisks.
oh yeah, you've got your chat filter on. It's
Yeah,
very
big boy.
colourful.
It's definitely on. It's fun though. I'm having fun.
Me too.
It definitely tickles my grinding of and like, oh god, the cat's yelling at me. My grinding and like crafting and that whole thing that like I play 7 days and those sort of games for.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's good.
And look, I don't usually get into MMOs because I find them overwhelming and like the UIs to be too much for my small brain, which has worms in it.
Well, you said you weren't going to play.
Yeah, because I had it in my mind, MMO equal not fun for me. Anyway, now I'm hyper fixated on it. So
yeah, we got like another week.
It definitely feels like accessible. That's what I mean.
Yeah, I agree. But...
And it is for me. This is just Skyrim with extra people. That's all it is. You know, the towns look the same. My character basically looks like she's from Skyrim. You know, I could go around and pick plants all day, and that's all I would do in Skyrim as well. Like that's all we need is some dragons, and I'm set.
I mean, there is an Elder Scrolls Online. I'm just putting that out.
The Elder Scrolls Online is cheap. It's not. It's not the same.
It needs an Australian server.
No, it's not that. It's for me, it doesn't feel anything like an Elder Scrolls game. That's the problem. For first off, the art style makes it look too. It's more looking like Final Fantasy than it looks like an Elder Scrolls game. And to me, they're extremely different looks.
I would say that Elder Scrolls is probably the closest to New World.
No, I disagree.
No, I 100% disagree with that.
What's the closest to New World then?
New World for me is different.
I don't think New World really has a closest.
I agree.
Like, if it was the close, like something to be the closest is probably RuneScape, but that's a very big margin.
No. I saw a great little TikTok that came up was just like, you know, when they say like RTX on and off, they had like old school RuneScape RTX on, and then when RTX off, then when RTX was on, it was New World. So,
I'm not talking about the old school RuneScape. I'm talking about the the new refresh version of RuneScape.
No, screw that.
People still just play the old one.
Yeah, everyone plays.
The old one brings in more money than the new one, which is
new one is shit.
Yeah.
I never played RuneScape, like never. And then
really?
when people were playing RuneScape Classic, I was playing I had shit internet. Got to keep that in mind, and shit computer. I was playing a game called Growl Online, and it was GR like 4 A's and an L, and it was built in like a RPG Maker in the style of A Link to the Past, like the Zelda game. So it was the same as that, but it was an MMO. So you just all these little sprites would be running around town all the time, and I was part of the Panda Clan, and we went around wearing panda suits, doing all these little questings and stuff like that. And because it was made with RPG Maker, they could make content really quickly and add new dungeons and whatever, and you could play it multiplayer on a dial-up, internet connection. So
I guess I was playing RuneScape 1, like before even old school RuneScape, so RuneScape Classic, when I was like 7, and then I played the beta for RuneScape 2, which is what we call OSRS now. So I'm like old school. Then I was also playing this game called Wonderland Online, which was a pixel top-down Japanese MMORPG.
Was this before or after you were scamming people in Habbo Hotel?
Before. So I want to say at the age of like 10, I set up some like bots, like bot scripts, so that I could like.
You macroing?
Yeah, I was like cheating and harvesting stuff on Wonderland Online. But Wonderland Online was different because it was like a turn-based RPG, so you also had to collect party members, even though it was an MMO. So you go around and like collect all these waifus through quests, and the waifus like follow you around and join your party.
I've never ever heard of this game.
And you ride around, you'd ride around a little convertible, like it was like Final Fantasy, like convertible, and it was pretty good. It was good. It was very like typical Japanese turn-based MMO. Very, very like you fight slimes for your first enemy.
Wild.
Go get some waifus, visit the waifus at the hot baths or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
All that stuff. And it was geared towards kids, like little girls.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Because
So-
that doesn't sound weird at all.
Exactly.
No, not at all. What was
Look-
your first one, Jess?
Yeah, Jess.
Yeah, Jess.
I honestly don't know. I honestly can't answer you that because it's been forever. I've played so many games since I was little.
You know what,
honestly
Jess? I don't even know what sort of games you play. What's like your top 5 most hours spent game? I mean, we're not talking GTA RP.
Oh, I'm not allowed to say GTA
Yeah, that's
RP because I
omitted.
No, you can, but you can. But we all know that that's gonna have your most hours in because devs sit there staring at that screen.
Yeah, I'll ignore that one. But throughout all of my gaming experience, probably my most topped game, and I will always love it, is the good old Halo days on the Xbox.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, I played everything, and I was that person that absolutely loved ODST because the characters that
Oh,
were in
interesting. Yeah,
were
okay.
based off of my favorite actors.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everyone's just like, "Why do you like ODST?" I'm like, "Because the actors."
So
Hello.
I mean, that's fair enough.
I grew up not playing Halo, and I only played Halo last year based on recommendation of basically you guys, right? So I went through blind. I've played multiplayer and stuff and screwed around, and I was a big fan of like Red versus Blue and stuff, so I understand what Halo is, but I never played it. And I actually liked ODST, and people were like super fucking toxic for saying that I liked it. They're like, ODST, you can't like that. That's shit. That's the worst one out. I'm like, I thought it was fine. You know, I thought it was different. It was good. I don't understand the hate. Is it? I don't know. I honestly,
I honestly thought the story was really, really good and well thought out. I thought it was funny, to be perfectly honest.
yeah, it was good. It was a good break because I played them all in a row, so it's like it was good to have something a little bit different. But people hate the newest Halo as well. What was the last one that came out? Was it 5?
Yeah.
5? Yeah. People really hated that one. I thought that was fine as well. It wasn't the strongest. The only thing that I would say that I absolutely hated about Halo was the driving mechanics in the first game. It just handled like garbage. It was impossible, and you have to do that last level where you have to get in the Warthog and like race through the explosions. And I'm like, I can't even drive this thing. Just kept dying. But did you check out the new Infinite stuff at all, or not really? Or
Not really.
not really? Not into the multiplayer stuff?
No, never really liked the multiplayer. Like, I remember used to doing it for a while, but lately I figured out I really have a competitive issue when it comes to multiplayer stuff. So I think it's just best if I just leave that well alone.
You got a win mentality? Is that what you're saying? Or?
Oh, I've got a massive win mentality.
I did see.
You should see. You should actually hear me when I'm angry. Like it's horrible.
I saw
Yeah.
there was a glitch going around and people made a lot of TikToks around it. But it's like some kind of grenade, a shock grenade or something, and you throw it at there's a prop. It's like slippery when wet in one of the maps, and it duplicates it, and then that duplicates on landing duplicates. So it's sort of like a cluster bomb that every cluster is a cluster bomb, and it literally just fills the room with slippery when wet signs. It's the weirdest fucking bug. But that was the only thing that I saw coming out of the Halo Infinite stuff, is that bug. People are like, wow, look at this, how funny is this? I'm like, the game mustn't be too amazing. I don't want to shit talk it, but yeah, it's like it's been so long since they've had like a new Halo. You know, they got a new console. It's kind of hoping for something big and impressive. But...
Hey,
Oh,
Dobby,
Lottie.
yeah.
Hang on. So, what are your top games? Top most hours in? I'm actually quite curious about this.
Guess.
because he's a big time gamer.
Oh,
Well, besides GTA RP,
just try and guess. What do you reckon?
You have
COD.
to guess.
I just don't know. Because I see that you're more of a like you play everything. So I'm not exactly sure what you're actually directed into.
He's hard to pin down.
I'm waiting for some guesses. You know.
I don't know.
COD.
I know it's not Factorio or
Battlefield.
anything like that.
Yeah, it isn't one of those silly games. I don't know who would enjoy those.
Shelby's
No,
right.
no
It's
idea.
COD.
Really?
Call of Duty.
Oh, really? I'm
Yeah.
right.
Easily, Call of Duty is my most played game, I guess. But that's because
The more
like
you know.
from PS3, PS4, I was in clans, and we did competitive Call of Duty at one point. ZLB had their own competitive team for 3 years. We ran our own competitive competition that had like actual prize money and shit. So yeah, COD would be number one.
I never knew that.
So the easiest way, all right, this is the way you sort of divide it up. Okay, so I started on a Master System, and then from the Master System we got a Mega Drive, and then from the Mega Drive we switched to a Super Nintendo, then a GameCube, then a Wii, then I got a PS3, PS4, PS5. So basically went from Sonic to Mario, Donkey Kong to GoldenEye, Perfect Dark. And then so on and so forth. So I never had an Xbox, so that's why I fell out of Halo. Never got the Halo, and I didn't have a PC for the longest time. I actually, we had like my home PC was garbage.